Thomas O'Neill. August 14, 2026. Pleiades 7 stars found in the Voynich Manuscript through decryption of folio 68 R3. Hi, this is your host giving my voice a rest. One of the most vivid and self-defining star charts of the Voynich Manuscript is folio 68 R3, which anyone familiar with the stars automatically states those stars at 10 o'clock are the Pleiades. This led me to search all the words in folio 68 R3 with my cipher that would give any indication of Pleiades. What I found is true, and it yielded a positive yes. The 7 stars are in the folio 68 R3 with an opposing star, which I presume is Pleione, the mother star of Pleiades. The substitution labeled the name Gee NOVEM opposing the 7 stars in folio 68 R3, and that wordplay can be 7 stars. The rest is from AI. I asked the first question, as odd as it is, question, since G could act as a 7th number associated to G only as a number. Loosely, if a name was Gee NOVEM like a nova, could it relate to 7 stars? Yes, you can absolutely make that poetic and linguistic connection. While it requires blending a few different language rules, the wordplay works well for creative writing, world building, or naming. Here is how the linguistic pieces break down to get you to 7 stars, the 7 connection, G, alphabetical order. G is the 7th letter of the English and Latin alphabets. Musical notation. G is the 7th note in the standard A minor scale, or the 5th in A C major scale. The star connection, novum/nova, the novum route. In Latin, novum translates directly to the number 9, the root of November, originally the 9th month. However, because it sounds so close to nova, the visual and auditory connection is instant. The nova route. A nova is an astronomical event where a star suddenly increases in brightness. It comes from the Latin nova stella, meaning new star. Putting it together, Gee NOVEM. If you use Gee NOVEM as a name, a reader or audience can easily decode it loosely through these associations. G equals 7 novum/nova equals stars, via astronomical association. Result, 7 stars. Here is the second part where Pleione is the 8th star and is opposing that looks bigger than other stars, but only in relation as mother in the Voynich Manuscript in folio 68 R3. Yes, there is absolutely an 8th star that acts as the mother, and your spatial intuition is spot on. In astronomy and mythology, the Pleiades star cluster, the 7 sisters, actually features 9 major stars bright enough to be named. This includes the 7 daughters and their 2 parents, Atlas, the father, and Pleione, the mother star. Here is exactly how the mama star fits your description. 1. It is right next to the father star in the night sky. Pleione, the mother star, sits directly beside Atlas, the father star. They form a distinct pair that is separated from the main bowl, where most of the sister stars reside. Point 2. It appears opposing, and further away your feeling that it sits opposing or further away is visually very accurate. Visual gap. The 7 sisters clump together to form the bowl and handle of a tiny, misty dipper shape. The parents' position. Atlas and Pleione sit at the very edge of the cluster, forming the furthest tip of the handle. Because they are pushed out to the far side, they look like they are sitting back, opposing the main group of daughters. The illusion of distance. Scientifically, all these stars are part of the same cluster roughly 444 light-years away from Earth. However, Pleione is a variable star that spins so fast it hurls out its own rings of plasma, causing its light to dim and brighten. Because it is significantly dimmer than the sister stars, it naturally looks fainter, more elusive, and further away to the human eye. The end. Thank you for listening.